So if you're Talon right now, maybe they didn't watch the interview, or maybe they didn't believe him. Let's find out which it is as Talon dive into that defensive side. 4 players on A and a little bit of slowing action on B, which they're going to need because this is where the push is coming in.
Well, that's the thing. We saw how good DRX were on the attack with this comp. We didn't get to see much of the defense, so that will be the idea. Looking for that afterplant already. The cove will be broken and stacks will go down. An early advantage for Talon in this round, but with the afterplant, it only becomes more difficult.
But the blind fire is definitely favored Talon. The damage done is massive. Recovering from here is difficult. DRX going to struggle when it comes to trading out. Swinging in with low HP, the shock darts finding those kills, and with the numbers on their side and a tap on the spike, that forces the swing out. The reveal catches both, and that should be it. Defuse for Talon and a pistol found to kick off ICEBOX.
That's the thing. If you're running a comp, you should know the weaknesses of it, and just spamming out that cove and almost just making sure that they can kill off that.
Well, after what he said last night, what can I do? You know, we had to get one back. 1-0, Talon in a very good spot to start it off, and they need to avoid giving DRX anything here with the pistols. I saw Garnet's going aggressive with a Bulldog, and he scared me a little bit, but that's falling back now.
That's the thing. They're using the high tide here to just take really deep control early. So the only way you can really get to them is if you go and take the low ground and still give you some advantageous duels. A bit of a bold spot from Garnet, but it works out. And while RB and Stacks, they do at least manage a kill. But I assume it's only going to have been the SMG and the pistol that was lost.
So it's a stand-in, and one of my favorite players in this tournament to watch by far.
But that's the thing, Jitboy is 17, so it is a very young squad. And the fact that it's sort of coming from one of the smaller regions in the form of Thailand, to have such young talent coming through is super exciting. We'll see if they can make their dreams come true with a top 4 finish, the highest we will have seen from anyone coming out of Thailand. But here we go. Cruz battling early. They've still got rifles to play with. Only one member in the form of Jitboy is playing with a weaker weapon here. They invested heavily so that they could go for this.
It is looking like they're going to keep these players on A, but just as I say that, Foxy starts to make a move. Okay, it's only towards the spawn. Wasn't sure if that was going to be mid, because with all the utility they've got covering here, it's not a terrible worry for them about anybody sneaking up. The turret, the alarm bot, this is covering so much ground. It allows them to keep with this heavier stack on the A site. Should be difficult now for DRX to make that space. They've spotted one player at the back. They know Harbor's close. Starting to get a feel of just how many players are here, but it doesn't seem to deter them. They're waiting for the utility to fail, and then they'll be right on their way through. Garnet's 5 HP. He's holding on barely, and he'll even get a kill. Even a little more. Somehow surviving. Although he falls in the end, surely he's done enough. Oh, maybe not. The last man alive, Zest, 1 versus 1. Look at the HP on the other side, just 4. He's going for the plant right now and needs to stick it all the way. Jitboys, though, coming up close, and the angle's good. 3 kills, and with a sliver of health left, he'll even get his ulti online for round number 4.
I don't know how half of their players survived as long as they did. It was just ridiculous to swing out from the pistol as well, the friends to force them out of awkward battles, but it seems like Cruz basically just waited. The second they turn up, he goes, Viper Wall. And he delays. He gives them enough time to try and
Disruption early on for DRX, their attack side, not finding quite the results they're looking for, and up against that bonus. Although it was a strong bonus, it doesn't matter. It's put Talon way into the lead. Opening duel goes their way. They're still pushing. Garnets, they're against pistols here. Cruz has died on B. That's free space. It's a plant. If they decide to stick it, they don't know that the site's fully free, but it is. And there's the plant coming through. But, ooh, I was about to say DRX are way ahead in this round, but RB is now trapped. They're going to deal with him. They have players surrounding him from every angle. That was close, but not quite.
Even still, into the afterplant. We've seen this many a time. DRX like to use this reckoning to almost help them out in the afterplant. And well, it's not often I've got to see 2 of these crossover at once, as both teams are going to try and apply this ult to make it awkward for the other side. High tide utilized to try and section them up, but Zesh is still here. He's just waiting patiently. The shots don't quite connect though, and now it's left all onto Marco running in. He finds a double instantly, and the time is ticking away. The flank is just too far. Marco should have done enough here, as the spike will explode.
Foxy can't even step out of the radius. DRX have just about taken that, winning on time. Considering, you know, they were mounted up for a very, very strong comeback, and the fact that you had a late flank coming in from the Sova, the whiff up close as well, it should never have worked, but Mako just carved himself a little bit of space.
That was the thing. They used the opponent's Cove against them. The Cove, when it's in that sort of position, doesn't actually benefit unless there's someone else in the Cove, and they didn't know where Mako was coming from, so they had to try and watch for it. Very smart stuff to isolate those battles, and well, a huge victory. Just look at what it's done to the economy of Talon.
Yeah, for the 3-0 start they had, 3 weapons surviving round 2. Oh, good attempt, good position. But this round across the board is swinging to DRX. They're winning all the duels, and they've got B for free. Well, maybe not. Look how quickly those rotates are coming. They've heard both of those players, though, rotate in. They know now they're going to have a fight on their hands, but they also know the weaponry isn't great.
Yeah, you can expect a bold play, a risk to be taken, and while Buzz is playing that security guard for his teammate, nice shot from Jitboy. He's been pretty nasty with this pistol before, but not this time. 3-2 DRX, break back once more, but this is where Talon will have it.
DRX are almost in the better position. They can win this round and break Talon's economy. Meanwhile, they're pretty healthy. Snakebite's not quite on the mark.
Again, I love the way they're using the Cascade to just clear a lot of those closer angles. They're switching up whether they do a high dart as it comes along or using the drone through it to give them that extra little bit of space. But even still, this utility has to be respected. Cruz, he's going to go down to a spam and then a snakebite. And if he survived that, there was a shock dart after as well.
Just to make sure. Oh, that's a connection and a follow-up. That's the kill. Spike Planter dealt with. Possibility for so much more to come from it. But I think they might have an angle to catch RB on the way back. He's got to be careful and got to be lucky this time, though. He's made it out.
Look at the ults. Already Viper's Pit, a Hunter's Fury available, a lockdown on either side. Sure, they can force him out of that Viper's Pit, but the fact is there's going to be one going through if he even attempts it. Now just making their way through already. A kill coming through for Sushi Boy. A good start, but they need to try and clear these players out of position. The lockdown being used, but I can assume there might be another, and in fact, it's going to get destroyed. RB holding, Marco alongside him. This deadly duo leaving Foxy alone. A nice shot to at least do some damage, but the time is gone. He needs to try and just kill as many players as possible, and RB will close it out. 3 for him in the round, and 3 on either side.
You can see RB thought about putting down. As I said, they ended up at 3-2 somehow, despite a terrible start to the half. Numerically, on the scoreboard, they were able to bounce right back, gain full economic control, and now push Talon to an eco. They've got no ultimates, having already invested quite a few over on their side. I guess the benefits that Talon are looking to exploit here. I like the push. Good idea from Garnet, but the shots aren't going to land.
That's the thing. I think they've realized that they need to pressure RB out of these rounds. If they can get rid of him on the lurk, this comp becomes a lot tougher to hold those flanks. The problem is, it's a lot easier said than done, because RB does very well. Even if he gets caught out, a lot of the time he's able to stay alive and call for reinforcements. Now, a tag has been hit on a couple of players, in fact. So this Marshall's becoming ever deadlier as the seconds go by. And now that pressure once again come on to the B site.
Cruz just a sliver of health. He has got his orb and his snake bites to try and make this a bit more difficult on the way through. Nano swarms from Sushi Boys as well. 50 seconds though. And you have to imagine that DRX are not going to be too afraid to take the fight to them. Recon up above even got it. Well, it got a pulse off, but no reveal from it. I don't quite know how many players are waiting for them on the other side. Here's the utility to make its way, but no snake bite. And that's going to cause a big problem.
They throw a Nano Swarm into the Cove to try and do as much damage as possible. And that's the thing, they have done damage, Mitch. But it's not enough without actually managing to kill anyone off. Buzz low as well. Just look, 3 players now tagged desperately low. That Cove doesn't last more than a second, but it forces a couple forward. In fact, Buzz right up close to that Viper screen. But so far, nothing found, and even a freebie almost missed by Sushi Boy. They will get absolutely nothing. A Prime Gaming flawless to take the lead for DRX.
Well, that is a big point man in that round. Not only did he have his orb there that they completely negated, but also the snake bites. They make something like that Nano Swarm just so much more deadly. And you can imagine they might actually walk out with the kill, leave the spike in the open, and have a chance to fight back. Some good ideas there, and that's the thing about Talon. Even when they lose rounds, you can see the ideas. You can see what they're planning to do. And that's why this game, for me, even in that first map for DRX, it wasn't that they were bad. It wasn't that they were making stupid mistakes. In fact, I'd look at it on the other side and say Talon played remarkably well, but now DRX are dialed in, and they're playing that same old game we see from them. Lose a map, look weak, doesn't matter. They can bounce back every single time. The BO3 is like a double elim bracket for them.
Oh, Garnet. Oh, he might get caught by this one. He will, but he's at least got back to his teammates. They're trying to spam through and catch the player as they plant, but Cruz, oh, he just about gets the kill, but the plant does go down. Now in these A-site after plants, it's been sublime for DRX, even with only a couple of players surviving. So this round isn't done just yet.
And they've got a Hunter's Fury to work with, but that means that they need to hold on the site. Mako needs to buy the time. He's got a snake bite, and there it goes. Fired up, in and out. It's gonna grab a little bit of damage. Not quite killing them yet. There's the shock dart, but it's already half. Hunter's Fury comes through. It's found the kill with Mako headshotting, and it looks like they might just have this. The defuse out in the open. He's gotta be fast. He needs to hit the shot. Never mind. Complete 2v1 like that. The utility that was out and so on.
Yeah, they ran up. That was the thing. They were so aggressive in their sprint forward to kill things off. And because they did so well of sort of deleting some of the early players, there weren't anywhere near enough players left at the end to sort of hold on to that one.
Oh, they took Mako on the site. Okay. Obviously, yeah, he'd used his last snake bite, so he just went out for the peek up top. I think he did kill the second diffuser. Went out for more and lost it. Incredibly close round. I guess the rush down on the Hunter's Fury really being the problem. And as we said, they just needed to buy a little more time on the site. Didn't manage
push
it.
Mid.
Keeps it close.
They're already trying to fight deep within this one. Mako, I think, is waiting for someone on the other side. Is he going to check far enough over? That's the thing. This is a bit of an obscure spot, and I think that Foxy almost seems to be waiting for him. They know that he loves to go for these lineups. It's genius. He played this so deep in the last round that instead they just get rid of him. Now this afterplan is hella weak in comparison to what we've seen prior.
Oh, what an incredible read. Honestly, he doesn't even second guess himself for a second to fight on site. Buzz does so well to get two. The gap in that wall, everything. And he'll even snipe Garnets out of the sky. Anti-air defense for him. And with Foxy, the last remaining player, Buzz uses that to pad the stats a little more. Blade Storm to work with. 5 on
using those snake bites that caused them issues in the last round. They deal with that, but there's an adaptation on the other side. Get aggressive, get up in their faces, and that's what they were doing in their last matchup as well. There was the 4 players almost working on the afterplants, and then one, and that one player was Buzz.
Oh my god, the aggression here on A main. 3 players running it. They go for the orb immediately, but they were ready for a fight. 2 players watching for that Rafters push, but you can see how patient they're being here. There's been a couple of rounds where we've seen that attempted, where Garnets goes aggressive, and sure, he's running the classic, building the orb for the Blade Storm, but they don't know that. So obviously they're worried about him being close, being up top, ready to fight, but I think the giveaway here is the fact that we haven't seen any of that pressure come out of Jit Boys. We're seeing, and indeed, he just put in his Cascade super close, right? So at this point, this is where Talon are sort of telegraphing the passive play, but they haven't given away the fact that there's this many players here.
Yeah, they've also put their Nano Swarm ready to try and deny the plant. I'll be honest, I don't think they're going to be alive to even be able to do that. All sat close. Dart going through, and the realization's been made. They've spotted so many players off the back of it, they're going to try and double round towards this B site. And unfortunately for Talon, they haven't realized. So although they had the stack right initially, they're going to have to very quickly try and run back to B to have any presence in this round.
It doesn't really look like they'll get there in time. The orb is here to greet them, but it's even coming online too late. Or might have been online already. Could be the reason for the delay. Plant is secured. Players on the way out, sure, they're going to decay a little bit. RB, you're disgusting, but that turret is still online. They're hearing it. I think Sushi, I thought he was hearing it, but maybe not. It turns out RB is just right behind him. Just holding it, waiting for him. I guess maybe he thought the push was coming. What? Buzz is going aggressive here? They're against pistols, Dom. He's so aggro, he doesn't even.
That's the thing, though. He has so much faith in his teammates after plant that he does this. He's basically looking for that knockout blow in every single round. He's going to get it with the shorty. This man is feeling confident at the moment, and another prime gaming flawless for DRX.
Yep, 6-4. DRX building up attack side rounds. Just think about the previous map. It's where they struggle. Look at them. Just having fun at this point. Half. The attack side, I expect to struggle. They're attacking with a comp that DRX are intimately familiar with, that they're pioneering. And look, if they manage to make it up to 6, I still think it's going to be a close game. But the reality is, they went 3-0 up and have got 1 round since.
Yeah.
This half is dominant for DRX and a complete script reversal on what we saw in map number 1 of this series.
Yeah, again, we still don't really know where this comp sits overall. It's possible that there is a heavy attack side lean and they're doing a decent job, but ultimately, I don't think DRX would be as confident going into it if it had such fatal flaws. And again, we're going to see this combination of that cascade and the Viper screen to create a little pocket of space. The Cove still available, but there's spams coming through, wanting to try and deal with someone at least, and instead, they have themselves that plant, and by the looks of it, they'll have a free fallback.
Managed to get rid of the Nano Swarm, avoiding a lot of the danger. Foxy again! Just such patience on display. It's unreal. This time, definitely here in the turret. That info could have been crucial. Back, nothing to be found, and Cruz is caught off guard. Oh, yeah, DRX are right back in.
Yeah, it leaves Garnet and that rotation, but they're still sat back, waiting. Another snake bite going down, leaves invulnerable. A bullet or two will do the job, and DRX again showing how deadly their afterplants have been. They lose that.
Look, their attacks, they've struggled, and here on ICEBOX, with this comp, I don't know. Maybe we can have more faith in them. Maybe they'll pull something crazy out and show us a level of mastery that not even DRX have hit with this composition, but right now, it's looking scary. 7 of the last 8 rounds, 1 to play for. Cruz inside of that orb, looking for the kill, and he's dead.
Okay, Buzz doesn't get anything. Foxy, alongside Garnet, has found a couple, and they've got their lockdown in. RB now left alone, normally on the lurk, but he's going to have to fall back. He hits a nice shot, but they at least recover. A huge round from Garnet to give them that 5th round, and honestly, Mitch,
this event has gone the distance.
Yeah, it's not been clean for DRX, but this composition has been one that they've proven to beat the very best. They took down El Diablo, now they've got a team within their own league from Pacific to try and close this out and head their way into the semifinals.
We already know they're good against the devil they don't know, and now it's the devil they do. Talon with 5 rounds on the board, mounting their attack. This has been the difficult part of the series for them so far, and they're starting this one with a deficit. The pistol would mean everything to them. The Viper wall in play, already set on the floor. DRX are very much expecting the push to come through here. 2 players watching it. This opening fight's everything.
Yeah, they've gone heavy on the Sheriffs, clearly expecting some ranged fights when it comes to Talon. One of them on Sushi Boy as well, so he's not going to have much post-plant utility to play with. Instead, though, Snakebite used aggressively, counter-util being thrown down to try and deny them that extra space, and in fact, they're throwing a lot of utility deep. They're trying to push them all the way back.
Wow, and still to go for a default plant spot as well. It's all this space taking, kind of just leaves Sushi Boys isolated. Almost got a reward for his trouble, but instead, a 5 versus 4 retake to be mounted. DRX, though, a lot of players are low HP here. Could cause some problems for them on the way through. Look how easy it was to take down 1. And the numbers, okay, they don't stay in their favor forever. That diffuse underway, and they needed to, they haven't noticed the Cove is up. They're gonna swing in way too late. Diffuse already done.
Yeah, it started all right. That was the thing. I think it started coming through with no one even realizing. And because of that, so late on the swing, players just guarding that spike. And a decent round again from RB. He's been having a fantastic series. I remember talking about this man in the past of like, is he the person to go to allow space for Buzz to be more of that duelist? Well, he just needed some time, it seems. Adapted his own game, and now a critical part of DRX.
Oh, hello. He's come very quickly around. Is that a neon Fox he's playing? It's got a different skin on it. Straight up and into this fight, and, well, I think he's going to lose his life in a second, but, you know, he has certainly found them the space to get this spike planted. Only problem now is the spams that could come through on the other side. The snake bite's already in, and that is devastating. Well, there we go.
Yeah, eventually, seemingly more of the same. Nice couple of shots, and they're expecting Sushi Boy now. Spotted him in mid, trapped in the corner, spike down on the ground and not planted. If he can get anything from this, that would be a huge success.
And he's at least got the information here that the turret's playing in kitchen. This is something that Talon did on their defense, so it's not a big surprise or anything. We've seen that utility shift around in the past. It might just be something. I think they did.
No, I can't
see like an attacker heat map. It might be the only team I've seen that just refuses to play that part of the map.
Yeah, they maybe had an aggressive dash through under the tube, but no,
yeah.
I don't think they had much else. Here we go, though. This has been the bread and butter of this comp. Garnet, I think he's actually missed where he was hoping to get up to. Has to do it a little bit later, and because of that, they're ready. Good trade, though, from Jip Boy, but again, the spike now on the ground, the Stinger doing the work. And while the rest of the team were probably hoping to end up in an afterplant, the Cove already being used, and because of that, this is now becoming a very difficult round for Talon.
I mean, they've still got a minute, but it's the spike position that's just so damning. Even if they wait, there's no way the DRX are going to rotate to the other side of the map. You can hope to catch them as they reposition, but I mean, you even start to worry about a flank at this point. I don't think Sushi Boy still has his turret up. Good kill. Shock Dart was on as well. Stacks running through, caught from up above, and that is clean. The close to the round that puts Talon on 6. But it's not like DRX.
Scenario, they're fairly patient, calm, and I think it was actually just the one kill coming through from Cruz that made quite a bit of the difference. This frag here turned the tide a little bit. Still 9-6, and that was going to have themselves their own online in the form of the Reckoning.
Actually seeing practically nobody on this A site from DRX. You have to kind of imagine they're expecting that Reckoning, and there it goes right away. Now, what's the response, Tom? You've left the A site completely. Looks like they've got free control. It's not even tagged a single player, so their response is being to push mid. 3 players gone down, 2 leading the charge, and it's Cruz who has to hold strong. Good trade to start. And there's still a second player here. That shouldn't be expected, but it is spotted. With Mako falling, now DRX are in trouble.
Yeah, they did really well. The fact is, the plan from DRX was a solid one. Get in fast on that flank, expecting where the ultimate will come through. But the fact is, what Talon did, they didn't do what a lot of teams do, which is, okay, let's fight on both fronts. Let's try and be greedy, hold the control. They know with the plant that they have, they can sit deep. So what do? They all go together, fight the backline, then they can go back if needed and fight the players on the site. It's a smart adaptation, it's quick thinking, and ultimately it's what won them the round.
One more on the board, and the gap closes yet again. Saving these weapons seems to be a certainty. Outside, they're comfortably bought, they're sitting pretty, and their ultimates are starting to come online. Very good spot to play from if you're them. DRX, on the other hand, they've got what they saved, and I don't think they'll have much more. That's a big blow in that round. A triple flank. Spot the first, trade it out one by one. J-Boys was in the middle of checking that spot for the Jet and went, oh, there's someone else here, guys. I'll take that kill nice and easy.
Well, couple of rifles, a Blade Storm now for Buzz. They've managed to at least bring this round a little bit more into contention. The problem is Marco has nothing. He is sat back. His whole job is to delay, and Stacks as well really doesn't have anything to play with. They have been able to go for a fast rotation, but this is all a ruse. They've used the screen and are starting to put that pressure onto Buzz. An initial tag, but only one player spotted. And that one player being the Lurk means that they're not going to pull a rotation just yet.
Yeah, there's no reason to suspect, especially with how prominent that Killjoy position around A, having your turret or your alarm bot for mid, it's very common. But now they're starting to realize there might be a few more players here. We're down to just one blade. If my math is right, Buzz is going to have to hit that headshot right away, or he's going to be relegated to the Classic for the rest of the round.
And that's the thing. Again, okay, you have a couple of rifles. Again, you have the Reckoning, but it's how much you want to invest into this round and how much is just about taking some of those guns out of an opponent. That one knife now dissipated, and They almost have to start trying to tap on that defuse, but there's so much utility in the way that it is becoming tougher and tougher by the second. A Hunter's Fury in post if they need it, and it seems like they're going to throw it in just to maybe try and confirm this one. The defuse actually still coming, but it seems like they don't really need it. Eventually, they will win out just with the rifles alone. Didn't have to send in that ult. And Talon, well, they keep third and almost even on score.
Just cannot reiterate it enough with a stand-in. Like, we've seen super subs before, we've seen Cider, but man, Garnets he's drawing everybody's eye. It looks like Talon want to take things to A, but look how many players are here. Garnets could have been in trouble on the way through. In fact, he may still be 4 players now, set up and ready. How much of a read can Talon have? They have no control outside of main, only their back being watched by a turret. I think they're going to have to commit to this. And although, you know, they pumped the brakes, which works very well for them in pulling Killjoy a bit more towards mid, the rotation will be so quick when they eventually go for it.
And they've got Viper's Pit, but Reckoning would probably deny that, although I say that, they've already used it. They're trying to stop them planting at all. The thing is, it seems like they're going to try and stick it to Marco. He manages to jump up. Another double from Zest. He's trying to do it all. And the trades just aren't quick enough. It's left onto Foxy. A nice shot to actually snap back. And the other teammate a little bit further away. You can see Marco just playing this one a little bit more tentative until he hears the steps. A great round from him from start to finish. And double digits hit for DRX.
Together, 3 ultimates to work with. Sushi Boy's about to have the lockdown. But so far, I have to say, the Cove play, it's almost come to bite the Cove every time. You go for it, you try to get the plant, and right there, it just who, if they lose this round, they'll be forced to probably an eco, especially with no Bladestorm online. So a big round coming up for DRX. They could push to 11-8 and still have a close game, but if Talon win this, we're back to neck and neck.
Drone pretty much ready to go. Hunter's Fury available, but it might just be the plan to try and get in with that Viper's Pit. Even when it's counter available, much more of a chance for a plant. Zest is just playing almost hidden, hoping that someone attempts something here, and he's just waiting, but he loses the fight! Across the rope goes Sushi Boy, and Marco, this time, he's gonna get traded as well.
Well, a trade good enough a lot of the time. Sushi Boys goes down, and Cruz trades it. A brave play to step out of that Viper's Pit, but in the end, it's left them with the advantage, a huge advantage, in fact, to play with. With the plant down, the pit to cover, and a completely unknown Foxy just roaming around, 2 snake bites, 2 shock darts. The win conditions are just completely ticked here for Talon, and DRX have realized that.
But that's the thing, he used the Hunter's Fury just to deny the lockdown on the other side, making sure that they had themselves that execution onto the site. And I'll say Zest, I'll be honest, a little bit unlucky. He had a good read there, was ready to try and deny the plant, but this time they were ready and watching for somebody to be around, and, well, obviously being able to get a kill on the ropes will help you out quite a bit.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You know, I guess the thing is when you're holding the position Zest was in, as we saw his crosshair placement.
Oh, no!
What I was gonna say was, yeah.
They've got money, it's fine.
They've got cash. We said they were looking healthy. It's fine. You know, it is what it is. Expecting a normal push. The fact that Sushi Boys comes on the rope and is aiming at his head height is what gives him that fight so easily.
Well, the difference back down to just 1, but the weaponry is where DRX are in a little bit of trouble. Buzz on an operator can always do damage, and they've sold this as an initial ruse, sending in the jet. But with no follow-up, Buzz is now going to double back towards the A site. They've spotted that drone, close angles cleared. There's still a decent amount of weaponry waiting on this A site. And if they decide to go in this direction, they might just be punished.
It's all on this first shot, but Buzz has spotted the player making his way up the rope. He's ready for the peak. And it's coming any second now, 50 on the clock. Talon entirely set on taking this A site, and Buzz won't get the opportunity to take the first kill, and a brave play, but he dashes right out of there.
This is very used as well. They're desperately trying something. The trade's coming back, but it's still a slight advantage for the moment. God, it just goes huge. He's found 3 kills with that Blade Storm.
30 seconds left.
They're going to be able to get the plant, and he might have just saved them. That was looking like a huge blip with the initial kills going the way of DRX, but that did not last long. Still, though, Zest and his doubles, we've seen plenty.
Oh, he's clutched out rounds before. This time on the attacking side, he misses the first, but gets it after. Down to 16 HP. 1 blade, all that's needed from Garnets. He's holding the angle close right, and there's the shot, but Zest can't land it. A wide swing, but Garnets is ready. And that will be double digits, tied up. This game.
I think most people thought this broadcast would be over by now.
Hours ago.
I think most people still in this arena thought they'd be at home, or maybe at Carnival. But instead, 10 to 10. Talon fighting their way back, taking their opponent's composition and running it up against them. And they are putting on a damn good fight. But just remember, that was just a couple of weapons saved. That was a round that was desperately close while DRX can still buy here. They are nowhere near over that hump just yet.
So this part of the map is called Kitchen. You might not have seen it much before, but Cruz is actually going there. Let him cook, my man. He's going to be playing super late in the round, but turret's gone now. So, all right, he's bailing out of there. Not really done too much, but RB, he got rid of the turret and took the gun himself right into the site, and he's still going. Making his way through his teammates' pit, clearing it piece by piece and grabbing the information. They're leaving. Stop the flank, Buzz. There's no need to continue moving forward. Instead, he sits in this spot, listening, waiting to grab the info, waiting to punish that rotation. They are taking it through middle, though, at least. So they'll bypass him, bypass the pit. And in fact, the fight may be Stax's.
They're going to be able to get fairly far forward. Cruz just hoping that someone gives him a fight, gives them something into this round, but the realization has to be had eventually. The problem is with 2 players in the pit, they won't actually know until they've pushed through. And just trying to get any form of battle, it seems like it's just going to be played as a retake. The dart, not going to catch, but it will buy a little bit of extra time. And they know exactly where it's been planted for.
They know that turret was taken out earlier on. The kitchen is exposed, and they're watching it. You can see Stax passively sat in the corner. That position catches Foxy off guard completely. Stax just takes command of the round for DRX. And the lead is once again in their hands. This Korean squad is here to play. Every single time that they've entered a series at this event, they've ended up on Talon. Will have to dig deep if they want to take this victory, Tom, because losing that round has decimated their economy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Both teams now have pretty much expended every single ultimate.
Rifles here, and that's
they might be able to just drag their opponents into the dirt. Again, we're going to see this aggressive dash, but Stax is out. Not willing to overface, he's the solo defender. His whole job is to try and delay he has.
Well, the rotations from DRX come slowly, but it does mean Buzz is here to help out. That second player, we're expecting the dash out of Garnets for back yellow. They'll take the space and fight for it after. Stax wants to make them pay on the way through. Usually when that recon goes out is when the dash has been coming through, but Talon off pace a little bit in this round. Instead, looking to actually take a fight. They want to punish some of these duels, but DRX are being patient. By the time they eventually make those peaks happen, well, I was going to say the spike might be down, but no, this isn't a commitment. I don't think Talon even, I don't want to say they don't want to go B. They've so many players here, but I think they're trying to bait a rotation or a flank from A. That's what it looks like.
Well, actually, you start to see some of the players on DRX moving back. I think they expected it to be a fake at this stage, almost doubling around as they're going to get towards the site. Finally, Buzz low, and he's going to swing back into an opponent. They've somehow, with their patience alone, found themselves an opener. Stax very quick to respond, though. His retake sits in the same spot as before. They used the cove to actually escape rather than to plant. And with the lurk from Cruz, that's something DRX need to deal with.
Big wall blocking off B. I mean, this is going to put pressure on Talon to move forward. Cove goes up, and now Garnets has to get in there. Good spam, but he won't catch the kill. RB returning, and it's already being diffused, and it's gone! Underneath their nose! It's not for the first time that Talon have had players alive and no ultimates. And 2 in a row needed to fight back into this. That could be the final blow dealt.
That's the thing with this swing through. I feel like Garnet's had to see that he was defusing. Maybe expected that he would let go after the swing came out, but full faith in a teammate to hold that line. DRX, they get the benefits of it. And now maybe looking to pick up the pace a little bit. These slower rounds have played into DRX's hands instead. They want to put the pressure right back on. But that's where Buzz thrives. An opener to boot. And they have to fall back.
No matter what happens here, Talon have made history for their team, for their region, for their country most certainly. The top 4 is all they wanted. A monumental spot, but DRX, so they've been after the Korean meta, the Korean era for a long, long time, and it looks like they might be on their way. Top 4 within their grasp, a 5 versus 2, and Garnet's one of the most impressive players that we've had in this tournament. Definitely a breakout for him. But for him to break back into this, we would need some of the best Valorant we've seen on an individual level in this entire event. A reckoning going to be used, a lockdown into play. A flank attempt by Jip Boys, but now he's the last man standing, and that final blow is about to be dealt. DRX are going all the way.